In fact, my mom shamed me the other day. She said, try not to swear so much. And she started singing a song, by the way. Going, you don't have to curse. It doesn't make you look cool. She's like, you only look like a fool. It's like, she just keeps going on and on and on and
you're
on.
40, right?
Yes.
Welcome to Salon Talks. I'm Mary Elizabeth Williams, and it's my lucky day because I'm here with Lamorne Morris. You know him from everything. He's an actor, he's a podcaster, he's a sometime TV host. Of course, you know him from New Girl, you know him from the wonderful show Woke, the movie Game Night, season 2 now of Unstable, and of course, his Emmy-nominated role on season 5 of Fargo. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And as well, you've got 2 podcasts. You're a busy guy. The Morning After, which is the funniest name for a podcast ever. It's perfect. And of course, the Mess Around with Hannah and Lamorne. Okay.
Oh, yes.
That's a lot. We have a lot to cover right now.
We do.
Lamorne, so let's just get right into it. Let's go to Fargo.
Fargo, yes.
Fargo. So you were a fan of the show.
Yes.
You were watching the show when you got the call about the show?
Yeah. So in my phone, I had a list of shows to watch. You know, Fargo was at the top of that list. I remember, I think I was on season 3, I want to say, when I got the call, and it was weird. So I started watching everything. I was like, maybe I'll get calls about all kinds of shows. Maybe they'll put me on Game of Thrones, you know. But yeah, when I got the call, it was very surreal because it wasn't an audition. It was an offer. And the director wanted to meet with me, Noah Hawley. And when I tell you, I've never been more grateful because it's such a departure from anything you'd see me do prior, to that. You know, New Girl was a bit more comical and whimsical and, woke and some of the movies and things like that. But this one, the stakes are a lot higher. It's a bit more grounded. It's dramatic. So when I got that call, I was so confused. I kept asking him, like, so do you want Winston in this? Do you want this to be a new girly kind of thing? And he said, no, it's your interpretation of the script and the character. And I want your kindness to show through. He's like, that's what we need from this character, and we need someone who's just genuinely kind. And I was like, oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And so they gave me the job, and then here we are, Emmy nominated. So which is a blessing. Well,
the kindness is your thing. You are also, you've already won some accolades. You were Edible Arrangement's Sweetest Man Alive.
Thank you for saying so. That means a lot.
Yeah. So you're already out there. So I have to ask this, right? As a guy who is known for his sweet roles, you are known for playing good guys.
Yes.
Do you ever just want to play like an absolute monster?
I do. I'm looking for the day that somebody hires me to play a villain in like a horror movie. You know, I want to do that so bad, and I think it would work. I know it would work. I'm just waiting for that call.
You've done horror, and I knew when you were in a horror movie that you were not going to be. Like I knew you could not be. And this morning when you were coming in, I said, "What if he's like a monster? What if he's a terrible guy?" You're not. What if he's just awful? But you couldn't keep it up for this long.
No, I don't think I'd be able to. I don't think I'd be able to at all. Yeah.
So you've said, like you said, your character, he's the heart of this season. He really is. You're back in uniform.
Yes.
You do get to be an officer of the law again.
I do, yes.
But very, very, very different. But you're a Midwestern guy. What did you bring from your life and your experience to this character? You did grow up around violence.
Yeah.
You saw some weird stuff.
Yeah. A lot. There was a lot of things in there to unpack. The character itself, I had to look into my life and figure out folks that I know who may have behaved this way, or their personalities were centered the way Whit Farr's was, and so I tapped in with some family members, some friends who I know who are very soft-spoken and very driven, and so I definitely tapped into that. The accent, I'm from the Midwest, so I'm used to kind of hearing the Minnesota accent. Chicago's, the hard Chicago accent has some similarities as well. So that was kind of easy to pull from, and just overall life experiences. This character is someone who owes a great debt to this woman who saved his life, and he sees that she clearly needs help but doesn't want to say anything. And I just, without saying too much, I grew up in an environment where I understood. I definitely understood when someone's going through something and they don't want to say anything. Maybe they're too proud, or maybe they're too scared or too nervous to admit what they're going through. And I had to try to tap into that while on set. And it was kind of easy because Juno Temple, I acted opposite her a few episodes, and she is an intense actor in the greatest ways. She's always connecting with you. She's always making sure you're both in the same mind frame, you're in the same pocket, the objective is still happening. And she definitely kept me thinking about some of the things that I had gone through and family members had gone through and friends had gone through in the past. So I definitely say she helped a lot with that process too.
And you're in a cast that has all got great comic chops, who have either come from comedies or who have done a lot of comedy. You call this show a comedy.
Yes.
And yet, I have to say, I've seen comedies that didn't freak me out or disturb me as much as this one. What did you all bring? You were also such a physical actor.
Yeah.
You're so expressive. What do you all bring as a cast working together with knowing those comic beats, knowing that you all have that kind of background?
Yeah, it was a fine line to walk because like you said, it is a comedy, but it does have those, absurd moments of violence and things like that. So most of the actors, and when you watch Fargo, a lot of the actors that they cast are straight up comedic performers, but put in these heightened scenarios. And I think what it is there is a truth in comedy. So when you play something honestly, in real life it's going to be funny, and with comics, we especially in the improv scene, in the improv world, you play the straight person and you play the punchline person. You know what I mean? There's always the quirky character and there's always the straight person. So you're used to kind of bouncing back and forth. And on Fargo, there is this through line of truth that you have to play, and if the audience laughs, then they laugh, but you're just playing it honestly, as long as you're staying true to your character. Because there are a couple of moments in Fargo, I would say, where I definitely was, super dramatic, I guess, in certain ways, but every once in a while something would come out and someone would laugh off camera. And I'd go, what are they laughing at? They go, oh, I guess it was funny. I don't know,
That's the best, though, right?
Yeah.
Is when you're walking. That's the best in horror. It's the best in drama when you can see the tension between the two.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about your background in improv, like big time. Like you're a Chicago guy. You studied at Second City. You got a Chris Farley scholarship.
I did, yes.
And now you're in the movie Saturday Night.
Ooh.
That's huge, right?
Yeah.
Playing this groundbreaking figure in comedy. Tell me about how you drew on this. Tell me what you knew about SNL before.
When I started in comedy, I knew of SNL, obviously. I think like everybody else did. I grew up on Saturday Night Live and Living Color, Mad TV. Those are my favorite shows. Chappelle's Show, and I knew about Garrett Morris, who I'm playing in the film Saturday Night. I knew about Garrett Morris, but I knew of him from Martin, or for the Jamie Foxx show. I didn't realize that he was on the original cast of SNL. No idea. That was fascinating because I started obviously researching the character and speaking with Garrett, who's still with us and who's still as funny and as sharp as ever. I remember speaking with him and learning all these things about his life. You can only do so much research online and try to figure out who this person is. But when you speak to them, you can really tap into what they were feeling during those days. And so I learned a lot. I started thinking about my Second City days, and in Second City, on the walls, you see all of the historical figures that come through those grounds, and like I said, you see the faces up there, and you go, well, half those folks are on Saturday Night Live. More than half of them. And I've never been on Saturday Night Live. I've been there to watch, but now being a part of the cast of the film, it feels to me just as great. Just as great. I just have one hope, that they at least allow me to host the show for an episode. I don't know who we got to talk to. But...
From your lips
to
Lauren's ears, right?
Yep,
Lamorne,
I just want to host.
I think that'd be very cool.
Yeah.
You'd be great. You'd be great. You're an improv guy.
Yeah.
You could do this with your eyes shut.
Give me a shot.
Right?
Yeah.
So, again, you are known as funny. You are known for your comedy. Fargo is a very different kind of role for you. It seems like the last few years, you have very consciously sought out a variety of things. I want to know now, and now that you are an Emmy-nominated thespian.
I didn't hear that. What'd you say?
I said Emmy-nominated.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just, thank you.
The Emmy-nominated sweetest man alive. Only one man in the world can claim that distinction, and it is you, Lamorne. How does this change things for you? How does it change the mess around for you?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Life is interesting right now. Life is very interesting right now. But here's the thing: I don't want it to change anything. I just, obviously, I want more opportunities to have fun and play and, work with different folks that I like and get to meet cool people. But, I'm very happy with the way my life is and my group of friends, my family. So, being on set is a treat. I look at it as a bit of a vacation because you get to go and play. The stakes are very low. That's what we do for a living. We get to have fun. We get to do things. We get to talk to people. This is supposed to be stress relieving, you know what I mean? And so sometimes when you're on set, that's what it is. So hopefully I just get more opportunities to do that. And like you said, diving into, other things, like you said, the mess around, but like the podcasting space. That's just been, that's like the podcasting space is my kind of love letter to fans, where you get a genuine look at what my personality actually is, you know what I mean? Because I get to speak freely and be silly, whether the jokes are funny or not, like I'm saying them. And I have a good rapport back and forth with fans because of it now, where they write me very honest critiques. Hey, Lamorne, stop swearing so much. And I go, maybe. Maybe I should, and I'll read the comments all the time. Oh, he does this or he does that, and it's just fun for me because it's not so controlled by, producers and there's a casting process and all. There's none of that. It's just I'm at my house and I record and I'm having fun.
So it's one of those people who says you shouldn't curse so much. Your mom?
My mom, yeah. My mom writes in, she just uses different names as people commenting. Hi, this is Steve. Stop cursing so much.
Because your mom doesn't like you to curse.
No, she doesn't. Oh, no, she hates it. Yeah, that's her least favorite thing. In fact, my mom shamed me the other day. She said, when you're hosting Kimmel, try not to swear so much because, he does it. She started singing a song, by the way. She's singing a song to me, going, "You don't have to curse. It doesn't make you look cool." She's like, "You only look like a fool." It's like she just keeps going on and on and on.
And you're 40, right?
Yes, I'm 40. I'm soon to be 41. I'll be 41 tomorrow.
And your mom is singing you songs about not cursing.
Yes.
You got a good mom. You got a sweet mom.
If anyone's going to keep you grounded, it's going to be your mother.
It's going to be your mother.
Yeah. It
might not have been my mom. All right, you talked about Kimmel. This was your second time up at bat last month. However, you are up to host on a Monday, the day before. Lamorne, what happens the day before you're up to host one of the biggest late night shows in the world?
Was this when the president stepped down?
Yeah.
I was like, you got to be kidding me. I was like, you've got to be kidding me, Jimmy. We need you, Jimmy. We need you. Nobody wants to hear from me. Nobody wants to hear from Winston, about what's going on in politics. But it was strange. The writers there are very funny, so they at least made my experience there very even, because I don't like talking about politics. I don't like. It's a tough job, I'm assuming, so it's easy to critique, and it's easy to poke fun at some of the funny things that may happen, or Biden's age, or whatever, this person's record, or Trump's orange. It's easy to poke fun at those things, but I don't do that job for a reason, because I'm sure it's very, very difficult, and the writers definitely made sure we kept jokes even down the middle. So if I'm talking about the left, I'm talking about the right. It's not my field of expertise. I just like to have fun, and I don't want it to truly be at the expense of someone, especially when I couldn't do that job to save my life.
But when you got the news on that Sunday,
Yeah.
did you think, oh boy, my Monday just got a lot more interesting?
Yes, the nerves, that was the thing. And it was mainly because of like backlash, politics are so heightened these days, probably now more than ever. And doing a show like Kimmel, where he loves speaking about politics, I didn't want it to be, I don't know, I just didn't want the sky to fall down on me. So I was a little nervous, but like I said, the writers, the producers there, I think they took pretty good care of me, so yeah.
You held up your side of the sky. So speaking of busy summer, you're also second season of Unstable.
Yes.
You come into this show. It's already, you've got an established cast, everybody's got their own rhythm, their rapport. You're jumping in.
Yeah.
What's that like?
It was good, it was fun. When you have a well-oiled machine, a bunch of funny people, it's easy to just, and I will say this, it takes kind people to allow someone to come in and be in their space. And everyone was so nice. Like when I tell you, like the nicest, too nice. Where, I was expecting Rob Lowe to be some sort of maniac. I don't know why. I just kept thinking to myself, well, he's Rob Lowe, he's larger than life. He's gonna be I don't know. And then he texted me, called me, and I was just like, this man is amazing. When I tell you, the nicest guy, the funniest dude, his relationship with his son, Johnny, is so funny to me. And the way I envy it, the way they bounce back and forth, they work together. The rest of the cast, the crew, they welcomed me with open arms. The writers, the showrunner, the director. When I tell you, this was such an easy thing to slide into. It was easy. They allowed me to play and do what I wanted to do, and we were very collaborative. So I think it's a great season. If anyone hasn't seen it, you should go check it out.
I watched the whole thing.
Oh, awesome.
You have kept me very busy preparing for you. I got to tell you, I've watched a lot of content, and I'm going to bill you for some hours now.
That's fine.
All right, one more thing. I want to get back to New Girl because, of course, New Girl means so much to so many of us. It's a very, very special show. You don't actually like cats.
Well, it's just not that I don't like cats.
No, let's talk about this. What have you got against cats?
It's not that I don't have anything against cats. They're so sneaky. It's not that I don't have anything against cats, those little devils. Here's what I don't have anything against cats, but here's what I have against cats. I'm allergic to cats, right? So that's part of the problem, right? And, it's like this. When something's so small and cute, you want to cuddle it, right? But sometimes cats don't want to be bothered, and they don't tell you. They scratch you instead. They'll just give you a quick little to let you know that they're not in the mood. If cats spoke, I'd be okay with cats. Like if cats were able to have a dialogue back and forth, then I'd be like, love cats. Because it's like being out there, and let's say you're out there on a safari, and you see a cool little lion just kind of walking around. And sometimes when that happens, you go, oh look, that's a lion. But we all know, don't approach the lion. If a lion could speak and say, it's cool, I'm in a good mood today, I'm not very hungry, y'all can pet my back. Then I'd be like, man, I love lions, they're very communicative. Felines, they're not. They don't speak, so I don't trust them.
Sometimes they sing though.
Oh yeah, I've seen those videos of the cats singing.
Sometimes the cats sing if you're in an Andrew Lloyd Webber joint.
Oh,
right?
Oh, you mean those?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like the weird YouTube videos when they.
Well, now I know what your search history looks like.
Cats be funny though.
They're funny from a distance.
Yes.
From a non-allergen inducing distance.
Yes.
Lamorne, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. And congratulations on absolutely everything.
Oh, thank you.
Emmy nomination for Fargo, second season of Unstable. 2 podcasts, guest hosting for Jimmy Kimmel. Have I hit like most of them? Oh my God! And Spider-Noir. Okay, one more thing. Were you a comic book guy before this?
I was. Back in the day when I was a kid, I had the trading cards, the comic books. Yeah.
So this is a big deal.
It's a huge deal for me. This is a huge deal. I've always wanted to be a part of the comic book universe. You know what I mean? And Spider-Man obviously is one of the more iconic figures in our history. So I don't know. It's a blessing. It's a really, really fun one. Working with Nic Cage is going to be insane.
Congratulations, Lamorne. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching Salon Talks. If you had a good time, why not subscribe right over here so you can get more conversations with your favorite artists, actors, directors, writers, comedians, musicians, politicians, everybody you love, and I love too. And while you're here, why not watch another video right now?